And we should be live now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Frontline Football, our holiday edition or Christmas edition, whichever one you want to celebrate. We don't care as long as you like football. But yeah, happy whatever you celebrate. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. We're going to be doing some great football predictions where we're going to predict these matchups, and we are mostly going to be right. So our first matchup is the Jags versus the Jets. Jack, what are your thoughts on this?
Ooh, this one's close. I'm gonna go Jaguars though. Slight edge. Jaguars have really been heating up the last couple weeks, as you can see by their schedule. They've won 3 of their last 4. They got that crazy win in Dallas. Offense has been going. Defense not as much, but Jets offense has been kind of inconsistent. Zach Wilson's still in. He played okay, but not enough to take advantage of weak defenses at this point in time. So ultimately, as usual, it's probably going to be a one-score game. Jets defense keeps them in the matchup, but ultimately, the Jags are just too hot to be stopped right now, and they're going to get a big win in prime time here. Give me the Jags. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I also have to go Jags here. Yeah, the Jags team has been looking very good, especially with Trevor Lawrence. It's too late for an MVP campaign, but if he started this a little earlier, he could have been MVP. But it's a very solid season that Trevor Lawrence is doing at the very end. I think he's only thrown one pick the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or something like that. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, give me the Jags here.
I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here because I think the Lawrence is looking really good. And if Mike White was starting, I really think of this game as a toss up. I think it still is with the Jets defense, but I think that Lawrence and the Jags have really turned it to a new level, and they're going to win this game here. Okay, so our next matchup is the Texans versus the Titans. I will be taking this one. I think that the Houston Texans will be getting their dumb victory here. That won't ruin the tank, but it will be their win against some other team because if y'all don't know, it is going to be 5 degrees at the game. I think at kickoff. So usually dumb weather favors the bad teams. So I'm going to go with the Texans winning this game here. Zach, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I hate saying this, but I'm also gonna go Texans. Not because of that dumb BS that Josh just said. The Texans, on every single good team they have faced for this last 2 weeks, they have faced very, very good teams. Both playoff teams, both are very high-scoring offenses, and the Chiefs and the Cowboys, they have been able to keep up with both of those offenses. The Texans can show a little bit, just a tiny bit, of what they did in the Chiefs and the Cowboys. They are totally able to beat this Titans team. If Davis Mills comes out there and rocks out with this, then they should be fine. So, yeah, give me the Texans here. They better get the win because then Jags lead the division. Oh, yeah. Jack?
This is going to be weird, but we're going to sweep on the Texans here. I'm also going to go with the Texans here. Titans, they've been sliding for a while now. It's 4 in a row. I get they've been against pretty good teams for the most part, but still they've been sliding for a while. The weather's weird. The Texans have been weirdly good against some of these top teams, just casually hanging in there with the Cowboys and the Chiefs, but securing their tank with L's. But this week is the week they play a division rival, meaning everything goes out the window. Logic goes out the window. And I think Tannehill may also not be starting this game, so Malik Willis, he's still a rookie, he's inexperienced. Texans defense could be able to rattle him a little bit. But ultimately, it's going to be a weird win, but the Texans are going to find a way to get the W here.
Isn't
Okay.
isn't Ryan Tannehill also out for the season?
He
Yes, I think he'll
probably
miss a
is.
lot of time, at least the
Yeah.
season.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the same thing as the other matchup because Malik Willis was starting there too, and they still won.
Oh, he started both?
Yeah, he's gonna start in this
Derrick
one too.
Henry's also Derrick Henry's gonna run all over them too. He had 200 yards in every single matchup they've had.
He
So
is, and also it's really cold, so they're probably gonna be relying on the run game. But we are getting off topic here.
for now,
Next matchup is the Bengals versus the Patriots. Jack, what are your thoughts?
I'm going Bengals here. Bengals, look at all that orange. That is 6 in a row. That is just a lot of wins. The Bengals have been playing elite football. They've beat good teams. They've beat bad teams. They've beat mediocre teams. They've done it all the last couple of weeks, and they are actually knocking on the door for the number 1 seed. They're only about a game out now. Not to mention, I don't know if I think everybody's seen at this point what happened in New England was just, whew, that was bad. The Jacoby Myers lateral, Chandler Jones runs it back for a touchdown. That's not good. You lose to Josh McDaniels ever, but the Bengals are just too hot right now. The Patriots have been sliding for quite some time now, so I'm gonna have to give it to the Bengals here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think I gotta go with the Bengals too because, like you said, the Bengals are hot and the Patriots are confused. They don't know what the heck is going on, and that lateral to Chandler Jones only proved that the wheels are coming off of this bus right now. Their championship hopes are no longer there. Even their playoff hopes aren't even there. So, give me the Bengals winning here. Zach, what are your thoughts?
This is really interesting. The Bengals, they win here, and then I'm going to talk about next week also. They win next week against the Bills. They're going to be the 2nd seed. The Chiefs get moved up to the 1st seed. Say if the Chiefs randomly lose against one of their rivals, which I'm expecting probably the Raiders, because I'm going to probably reveal what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Chiefs for this week, but then the next week is Broncos, and they're undefeated against the Broncos. But if they can do that, the Bengals could be the 1st seed, like Jack said. They go against the Bills, which is going to be hard out. I think that this is an easy win. Patriots have been looking horrible. Chandler Jones finally did something. I'm excited about that, but for the Raiders, but who cares? So, Bengals. All right.
Okay, so the next matchup is the Raiders versus the Steelers. Zach, your thoughts?
Man, these two teams suck. Oh, Raiders. The Steelers have taken a huge decline, especially that Kenny Pickett, I believe, is still not going to play this game. So, and they've had a pretty weird, they've had weird weeks this week, and this is they're again a bad team they're playing against, and they've only lost to the Ravens. So that's pretty good for the Steelers, but can't trust them. The Raiders looked really weird in that Patriots game, so give me the Raiders. Jack?
I'm going to go with the Steelers here. This is the battle of the most inconsistent teams in the league. The Steelers, they've kept in a lot of their games. They've won 3 of their last 4 somehow. I guess they've beat up on a lot of bad teams, though. Barely lost to the Ravens. Raiders, they've been equally as weird. They've won 3 of their last... they've won 3 of their last 4 as well, weirdly enough. But they're still weird with Josh McDaniels. So overall, both these teams just seem very strange. I'll give the slight edge to Pittsburgh because of the home field advantage. But honestly, this seems like a pretty even match. This could definitely go either way. But give me the Steelers. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think I gotta go with the Raiders here because both of them are very weird. It's gonna be a weird matchup, but I think that the Raiders will pull it out somehow. I don't know how. It will just be some weird way that they win. Are you laughing about what I said, Zach?
Wait, did you hear me say that?
Yes.
Oops, my bad. All right.
Well, Raiders. Okay. Next matchup is the Bills versus the Chiefs. Jack, what are your thoughts?
I'll go with the Bills here. I think it was the Bears, but
Yeah.
Bills versus Bears.
when you look at this Bears team, it's Justin Fields, a few okay running backs, and just nothingness. The Bills are the top seed in the AFC. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They've been really good, and this is just not a game I see them losing down the stretch. Justin Fields can run all he wants. The Bears defense is not going to be able to handle anything Josh Allen has for them. I'm pretty sure the Bills win this one. I'm going to say handily. Justin Fields may still go off, though, as he normally does. But give me the Bills here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Dang it. I'm looking at the Bears schedule, and they're probably going to lose all their dang games. The Cardinals can't get the 2nd pick. That sucks. Oh, Bills are winning here. This Bears team sucks except for Justin Fields. I think Jack mentioned a lot of the points. The defense is struggling, and they only have 3 good options, David Montgomery and Yeah, Justin Fields, and that's really it. And Justin Fields is dealing with injuries too, so yeah. All right, Josh.
Bill, even though that the game is going to be in sub-zero temperatures, the Bills know what they're doing in this type of weather. It doesn't matter where they're playing, and this is still the Bears at the end of the day. So the weird weather stuff isn't going to count here because you have the Bills, and I think that the Bills are going to pull this one out. So give me the Bills. Our next matchup is the Seahawks versus the Chiefs. Zach, what are your thoughts on this game?
I already said my take back in the Bengals thing, but I'm gonna say Chiefs. The Chiefs are just. They looked weird against the Texans. I don't think that that's really the true Chiefs we've seen. I could see a Seahawks victory because of how bad the Chiefs defense has been playing, but I think it's gonna be a Chiefs victory just because of how Mahomes plays and his arm. So yeah, give me the Chiefs here, Jack.
I'm also going Chiefs here. Chiefs almost lost to the Texans in a weird way, but ultimately they came through and they've been very consistent so far. Seahawks started out hot. They've been fizzling out for the last couple of weeks. They've lost 2 in a row. Defense is starting to struggle. Well, it's mainly against the run, and the Chiefs, I guess they have Jarrett McKinnick and, Isaiah Pacheco. Ultimately, I think the Chiefs will be able to handle the struggling Seahawks defense, and especially being at home, give me the Chiefs here to win this game. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think I gotta go with the Seahawks here because the big thing with the Chiefs is the Texans. While they did get a bunch of dumb things, there's not. It's called Any Given Sunday because any given Sunday, any team can win in the NFL. And those weren't just dumb mistakes. These are flaws that the Texans have just found in the Chiefs system. Now, did we try to tank right now? But we accidentally found them, and now they're here to stay. So I think that with a more competent team like the Seahawks, I think that they'll be able to get more done. So I think the Seahawks will be able to avenge what the Texans did. So give me the Seahawks here. Okay. Next matchup is the Ravens and the Falcons. I will take this one. I think that the Ravens will be winning this game also in sub-zero temperatures. A lot of Christmas Eve games are going to be having weird temperatures with them. So give me the Baltimore Ravens winning. They looked weird last week, but I think this week with the Falcons coming to town, the Falcons haven't been looking good all year. Besides that weird part where they were actually fighting for the division. But now I think those hopes are over. So give me the Ravens. What is this? Jack?
I think I'm also going to go Ravens here. Ravens have been a little inconsistent as of late. Tyler Huntley's probably still playing. They dropped one of the Browns. They squeaked a few out. But overall, I still think they're just a better team. The Falcons have been free-falling since about, I'd say, week 9. Other than one win against the Bears, they've just lost a lot of games in a row. Ritter had a rough time against the Saints defense. It wasn't a horrible game, but he didn't really do that much. For the most part, the offense was a complete non-factor. And while I think the Ravens, they're also a weird team as of late. I think they're too talented to drop a game like this at home. I think they're going to get the win here. Give me the Ravens. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Dang. I gotta go Ravens here. They've been the most consistent out of most people, so. Actually, no, they've been most inconsistent, but this Falcons team sucks. So if they lose to them, Ravens they got trash. So yeah, give me the Ravens here.
Okay, so our next matchup is the Saints versus the Browns. I guess I'll take this one. I think but I think that with the Saints coming to town, they should be able, like the Ravens, to iron out those flaws. Now, the Saints are actually, weirdly enough, in contention for the NFC South, which is still weird to say. But I think that the Browns, with Deshaun Watson and that defense, will be able to do just enough to win the game and get them back on track to playoffs. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Man, I gotta go Browns. The massage parlor is open, and they're running wild. because they had a really nice victory over the Ravens. Deshaun Watson's finally learning how to be a competent NFL quarterback again, which is great for the Browns. And he just has been playing really consistent. So, yeah, give me Browns here. Jack?
I think I'm also going to go Browns here. The Browns, they've been better as of late. They've won 3 of their last 4. The only team they dropped to was the Bengals, who haven't lost in weeks. And I'm just not sold on this Saints team. I get they beat Desmond Ridder in his first career start. I'm not going to give him a lot of praise for that one. They choked the game against the Bucks. I'm pretty sure the 49ers handled them. It's just overall, it's a weird team. I'm not sold on them. I'm a little more confident in the Browns. They're a little more consistent, at least over the last couple weeks. I'm going to give the Browns the edge here.
Okay, next we will be going to the NFC to continue our Christmas Eve games. Our next one is the Giants versus the Vikings. Jack, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm going to give the slightest edge to the Vikings here. I could definitely see the Giants on a track to potentially get the upset here. They've played well, but ultimately, I'm giving the slight edge to the Vikings here. They're at home. It's one of these, it's a Christmas Eve game because they're all on Saturday. But ultimately, I get the Jeff Saturday thing. That was rough, almost losing that game. But the offense absolutely exploded at the end. I don't think the Giants' defense is nearly as bad at whatever the heck the Colts were doing last week to allow that to happen. But ultimately, I still think the Vikings have enough offensive power to get past them. Not to mention, outside, the Vikings normally have trouble with the receivers, covering receivers on the defensive side of the ball for the most part. They get overwhelmed sometimes. Giants don't really have any perimeter threats. So if the Vikings are able to contain Saquon, they should be able to win this game. Give me the Giants here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Give me... Oh, wait, you said Giants?
Oh, I said Vikings. My bad.
Okay. Give me the Vikings also. The Vikings had a weird victory at against the Colts. It was a weird one. The Colts kind of just didn't get anything going at the second half, but the Vikings could get something going. They need to start that earlier because if they do that against the Giants, the Giants will actually pull away. So I'm gonna go Vikings here, expecting them to keep that same offense that they had in the second half. So yeah. Josh?
I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings because the Giants really got lucky last week with that non-PI call and how much the refs were helping them throughout the Sunday Night Football game. And I think it will really be shown on display whenever the Vikings come to town. Even though the Vikings did have a really bad first half, they turned it on in the second half, and we cannot doubt that team had an amazing game down the stretch. And what they did was just absolutely great. We were seeing it in Jerry World. It was not very entertaining at first, but it was very entertaining compared to some of the games that we were watching. So, yeah, I think the Vikings will be winning here. Our next matchup is the Lions versus the Panthers. I'll take this one. I think the Lions are going to win here because if y'all don't know, the Lions can actually make the playoffs. And I think that with Dan Campbell, I may have spoken a little bit too soon on Dan Campbell saying that he should be fired, and I don't know what the heck he's doing. He's really turned it around going through this season, so I completely apologize for that take. I think that he's looking very confident right now, and if he can bring the Lions to the playoffs, that would be amazing. He doesn't have to win; he just has to bring them to playoffs. So, give me the Lions winning here. Zach, what are your thoughts?
The Lions have a 3-game winning streak and make it 4 because this Panthers team kind of sucks. And I know they're 1 game out again from the division, but they ain't gonna get here. They're gonna be 5-10 just like the rest of their buddies. So, yeah, give me the Panthers here. So yeah, Lions. Give me the Lions here. So yeah, Jack.
I also have to go Lions here. Lions offense has been going pretty crazy. They're elite for the most part. They've won a lot of games in a row since their rough start. They've completely turned it around. They've hit 500 again, and they're in contention for one of these wild card spots because The Commanders could easily drop one of the 49ers, and does that put them in? Check.
Yes.
It does. So they are right there knocking on the door. They're a team that just has everything riding for them right now. Where the Panthers, they're lost. They're also really close to getting into the playoffs thanks to their dumb division. But they also have Sam Darnold and a bunch of inconsistencies happening with most of their teams. So I'm not picking the Panthers. Maybe the Panthers could upset another team, but not a team like the Lions, who've just been going crazy the last couple weeks. I don't think anyone's stopping them right now, and it's definitely not going to be Sam Darnold and the Panthers. Give me the Lions.
Okay, our next matchup is the football team, Commanders, versus the Niners. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Niners, I feel like everyone's going to sweep on this because Brock Purdy has been playing very well for being Mr. Irrelevant. They're 5-0 in their division. I know that doesn't matter, but they've just been probably one of the, if not the best teams in the entire league. They've had the most consistent defense, in my opinion, of every team in the NFL. I feel like this Niners team could make a huge playoff push. So, yeah, give me the San Francisco 49ers. What about you, Jack?
I'm also going Niners here. This Brock Purdy guy is legit. He knows how to run his offense to a T. While I get the Commanders, they definitely could have won that game. Sunday Night Football. There was a lot of weird ref shenanigans going on at the end of the game. Still, I don't think they're on a team like the Niners level. I think they're a borderline playoff team, but I believe that the Niners defense is just going to absolutely overwhelm them, along with the elite set of weapons they have. Even without Debo, I do think the Niners are going to be able to take out the Commanders here, moving them down to 7-1. So give me the Niners at home here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I'm going to have to go with the Niners here, like everyone else has said. The Niners have just been, it's really just been a plop-and-play system right now. You can just put whoever you want on there, and they're still going to give you probably a good, I want to say, good amount of points. They just run the offense. It's really been shown throughout all the people besides Trey Lance. So they're just going to keep it going here with another win. Our next matchup on the docket is the Eagles versus the Cowboys, what really should be the Christmas Eve or Sunday game matchup. I'm going to go with Jack for his take.
I think I'm going to go Cowboys here. Now, Cowboys the last couple of weeks, they have not been as amazing as normal. They almost lost to the Texans. They absolutely choked a huge lead against the Jaguars. Lost to them on an overtime pick six. But overall, I think their offense has shown to be relatively consistent for the most part. Their defense has got to shake off the 40 bomb that almost got dropped on them. I guess the pick six technically doesn't count against them. But still, the Eagles will be without Jalen Hurts. Well, I definitely think Gardner Minshew is a good enough quarterback to win this thing. He's going to be able to have the elite supporting cast the Eagles provide. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Cowboys here at home. But ultimately, this one could go either way. Cowboys have a chance to... Actually, I don't know if they can gain enough ground to come back for the division. But they technically still have a tiny chance of getting it. I'm going to give them the win here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I think even with Gardner Minshew playing instead of Jalen Hurts, I feel like they'll still get the win just because the Cowboys have really kind of had some flaws against the Jags defense with their offense, and I feel like this Eagles defense is so much better than what we're dealing with the Jags right now. So give me the Eagles here in a very impressive victory, especially kind of highlighting their defense here. I think they have the second most consistent defense behind the Niners. So yeah, give me the Eagles here. They just can't play around with they can't just play around like they did in the Bears game. If they play consistent, they don't play around like what they did with the Bears, they'll be fine. So yeah, give me the Eagles. Josh?
I'm going to go with the Eagles here because the Cowboys have been on a weird skid. They almost lost to the Texans, then they lost to the Jags in overtime on a pick six. So the Eagles have just been basically the best team in the NFL. What am I saying basically? They are the best team in the NFL if we really look at it. And I think that the Eagles are probably going to win the Super Bowl this year, and they are not going to drop a game to these Cowboys. Maybe a couple weeks ago, Cowboys, but not these. So give me the Eagles winning. Okay. Everyone say their take?
I think so.
Okay. Our next matchup is the Packers versus the Dolphins. Jack, kick this one off.
I'm going Dolphins here. Now I understand if you look at the Dolphins, it's been a rough last 3 weeks for them. They've lost 3 in a row. But in their defense, these are really good teams for the most part. You could argue the Chargers aren't as good as the level of the 49ers or Bills, but still, there's 3 teams that are in their playoff pictures right now. So I understand the Dolphins have struggled, but still, I think they can handle the Packers. The Packers have had a really rough season. Started to pick it up a little bit the last couple of weeks, but ultimately, I think the Dolphins really need to get back on track at some point. And I think this Christmas Day game in Miami is the chance to do it. I think they get the win here, and they get back on track in the playoff picture. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I am going to go with I think I'm going to have to go with the Miami Dolphins here because with Miami, they're fighting for playoffs, and the Packers don't look like they know what they're doing half the time that they're playing football. So, really, if we're looking at it, Miami has lost games here and there, especially that Bills game. But you got to take into account that one, it was snowing, and 2, it's the Bills. So, give me the Dolphins here. Zach?
I'm gonna go Dolphins. Dolphins have had to look more consistent lately, and they have been playing some really good teams. So I'm gonna give it to them because this Packers team seems lost, and they don't really know what they want. They can't tank because they're too good to tank, but they're not good enough to make the playoffs. So yeah, give me the Dolphins here. Turn around. Everyone said Dolphins, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Another matchup that should be a snooze fest is the Denver Broncos versus the LA Rams. I'm going to hand this one off to Zach for his take.
Is Russell Wilson going to be playing this game? I believe
Nope.
not.
Concussion protocol, I think he's still on, right? Or is it a different thing this week?
Oh, today's week. Yeah, this is a week. Yeah, he is actually going to be playing. Then give me the Broncos. Yeah, this Rams team doesn't know what they're doing either. They got that Super Bowl. They traded for Baker. Their quarterback Matthew Stafford might not play football ever again. Kind of bad. I'm gonna have to go Broncos here just because they're gonna have to look more consistent for the next season coming up, which is next year. So maybe having a good game against the Rams would help. So yeah, give me the Broncos here. What about you, Josh?
This Super Bowl hangover has hit the Rams hard. It's going to keep on going. I'm going to say that Broncos country, let's ride. They are riding again. Of course, it doesn't really mean much, but they are going to beat the Rams here, which would have been really good if I would have told this to past self in like the offseason whenever I thought that the Broncos were actually contenders. But this matchup is just bad all around. This shouldn't even be a Christmas Day game. This should be one of the Christmas Eve games. But yeah, it is here, so give me the Broncos winning it. Jack?
I think I also have to go Broncos here. Broncos, well, they've been pretty bad. Their defense has stayed pretty consistent throughout the season. They've managed to find a way to stay solid, even with losing their best pass rusher in Bradley Chubb. Their offense it is what it is at this point. It can do stuff occasionally, but it's still pretty bad. But ultimately, compare it to whatever the heck the Rams are doing, and I think it's miles better on both sides of the ball. Outside of the Thursday night game against Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels, he's just a unique case at this point. He gave Jeff Saturday his only win. He gave Baker Mayfield a game-winning drive. He's just a very unique... The Raiders are just the team that does that. Sometimes they just do things they're not supposed to do. I don't see this Rams team winning another game this season. I think they don't have it right now. All their talent is pretty much on IR at this point. They have no depth, and pretty much the Broncos, well, they have been bad this year. Their defense is going to be able to win them this game single-handedly if they have to. So give me the Broncos.
Okay. Our final matchup of this Christmas Day, I don't even want to call it a special. this isn't even a special day. Special in other ways, but I can't say it on YouTube, so yeah. A final matchup of this is the Buccaneers versus the Cardinals. Zach, who's going to win?
Well, we're starting Trace McSorley, so I think I'm going to answer the question for everyone here and probably have a more in-depth take about this. Cardinals suck. Their defense sucks. We have a million injuries on our team. I think Jack and I went through the injury report a little bit ago, and I think there was 10 or 11 names on there. Byron Murphy's not going to be there. Kyler Murray's not playing. We got Trace McSorley. The only person on offense, there are only 3 people on offense that I really trust, and that's even counting the offensive line, and they're not even on this list. It's just DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood, James Conner. That's really it. Defensively, J.J. Watt is good. Isaiah Simmons is sketchy. Xavier Collins has improved a little bit. And let's talk about this Bucs team. Tom Brady needs a win here. If he can't beat this Cardinals team, well, that's really sad because we're trying to tank, I think, for Will Anderson. Mike Evans is maybe able to score a touchdown because he's getting covered by Marco Wilson. So, if he doesn't score here, Mike Evans kind of sucks. I think the Bucs clinch here if they win. They clinch their division most likely, or they're very close on clinching their division. So, yeah, give me the Buccaneers here. Jack?
I'm also going Bucs here. Now the Bucs, they've had their fair share of struggles. We've seen it the last couple weeks, but overall, just look at the Cardinals situation. I think they have a chance, maybe a small chance with Colt McCoy because he knows the offense and all that. But Trace McSorley's never started, and when he does not throw dimes very much. He just is not ready to play in the NFL yet. I don't know if he'll ever be ready, but still, he's not like an NFL starter by any means. The Cardinals are injured on pretty much every section. They just got healthy at wide receiver. Their O-line's still pretty injured, though. Defense is still injured as well. This should be a game where Tom Brady should be able to win because this Cardinals team is pretty much checked out for the season after the Kyler injury. That was kind of it for them. Tom Brady's going to get the win here on the road. Give me the Bucs. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Bucs here. The Cardinals, like Zach said, Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know how to coach. The entire team's injured and sucks. So they're tanking, but they weren't trying to tank, and they're very weird, but they got the 3rd pick, so that's all that matters. But the Bucs are actually fighting for their division, weirdly enough. So give me the Bucs winning this game and routing their path to the playoffs back to straight, or at least somewhat straight. Our next matchup is the Chargers versus the Colts. I'll take this one. I think that the Indianapolis Colts will be winning. Or, no, not the Colts. The Chargers will be winning this matchup. The Chargers have looked so good. Also, it's the Colts who just choked a 33-point lead. Now, I could see some weird stuff going on because Nick Foles is playing, but I don't know. I trust Herbert a little bit more than Nick Foles and the entire Colts team, especially because JT is out for the rest of the season. So, give me the Los Angeles Chargers here. Jack, what are your thoughts?
I also have to go Chargers here. Chargers have been heating up the last couple weeks. I think they're still not as healthy as they are, like maximum power, but that makes sense. We're late in the season at this point. But Herbert and the playmakers are healthy for the most part, and I think that's what counts with this Chargers team. As we saw, the Colts got absolutely bullied by Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and Justin Jefferson together. So I'm pretty sure Herbert, Eckler, and Keenan Allen / Mike Williams can create a similar effect here. Jeff Saturday's probably going to lose again. No JT, no offense for the Colts, and their only hope of even being competitive in this game is Nick Foles goes crazy and comes out of nowhere. But it's very hard to do stuff when your O-line's inconsistent, you have no running game, and you, outside of Pittman, don't really have a consistent second option at receiver. So overall, well, maybe Nick Foles gives them a little bit of spark on offense. It's not going to be enough to stop what the Chargers are going to do on offense. They're going to put on a masterclass here, and they're going to get their 9th win of the season. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I think the Chargers are going to win. They're going to be pretty consistent in this game. So, yeah, I don't really know what to really say about this team. They've been very inconsistent. I don't really think that they're going to make a deep playoff push or anything like that. They've been dealing with injuries. It's just been a huge problem. So, yeah, so give me the Chargers here. Josh, have you said your take?
Yeah, I said Chargers.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that does it for us at Frontline Football. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from all of us. And enjoy your Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Monday Night Football games. Jack, hit the plugs.
As always, Instagram and Twitter, follow them at Frontline FB. Oh, that way, they're right there. Right there, search that in for all the extra content there. Unfortunately, Friday Night Chronicles are done at this point, so maybe there'll be some videos about the Arlington trip, but
Oh, yeah, that video is about to be posted soon.
so keep an eye out for that. And then as for predictions, they will return here next Wednesday night, where the playoff picture is starting to unfold here in the NFL. I think we have 2 or 3 weeks left. About 2 weeks left after this week. So playoff push continues. We're going to be covering it in all the predictions. See you guys next week.
See ya.